Welcome to Discerning News, where we bring you current stories from a bigger picture perspective. The purpose is to inspire clarity and enthusiasm for your unique journey. Finding those stories that inspire more awe in your life to recognize that, you know what? There's more to this micro picture and a macro picture is what we're going to chat about today to give you more inspiration in your life for what you've come to do. We exist in a highly intellectual world, and often the feeling part where your inner wisdom lies gets left out. There's a way to feel more in balance with all parts of yourself. This way is by accessing a spiritual bigger picture of who you are as a soul. Check out the link in the show notes to access a free video series created by the Wayshowers College to support your journey and moving through this game of life. Your intellect and feeling parts will love it. So I saw this story this week, and it was James Webb Telescope spots earliest black hole in the known universe, looking as far back as you can practically go. Looking back as far back as you can practically go. That inspired me because oftentimes we get so stuck in our mundane world,
Yeah.
in the day to day and the going to work and the doing this and that. And how can we get inspired by these stories to really get out of that and go, wow, there's so much more than what we're seeing in front of us?
Yeah. I mean, there is, how many stories have we heard throughout time where someone shows that bigger picture and it just dwarfs any problem that is happening in the moment? You know, it's just like, oh, I'm caught up in my little picture. And I think there was a story about Theodore Roosevelt, the American president, where he would have all these dignitaries over from all around the world, talking about trade and all these kind of issues that they were having. And he would go outside on the lawn with people, and he would start talking about the constellations and how far they are away and how long the light. I mean, they knew a lot of that back then. And then he would come back and he says, and now that we know how small and insignificant we are, we can all go back to talking about what we're talking about. Yeah, that what you're bringing up is it's so peaceful. It brings me back home. It reminds me of what am I going to invest my time here? Because I only have so much of it. And pretty soon I'm going to be heading back home at some point. And what do I really want to do with my energy, and how do I want to approach it? That if I'm coming from that feeling that you're talking about, then I'm coming from the picture of that big flowing force into the now, into my hands. And the more I've gotten into that feeling that you're describing, the less intellectual babble there is, the less issues that run through my head, and the more solutions there are. And it's everything I do is done with a sense of peace. Or if I am having trouble, it's easier for me to maintain my goals. That's the initial impression I got.
What comes to me is the importance of my true feelings in my life. And that, as Tiger was sharing, was the bigger picture. In fact, I saw some interesting stories about, just how many trillions of galaxy systems
Right.
there are, and there's like, I don't know, billions of stars. We live in one star's solar system.
Right.
And there's billions of these stars, and then there's trillions of galaxies that have billions, and the numbers are so mind-boggling. And as I tuned into that, learning about the James Webb Telescope and how far it can see, and I look out there and I go, boy, I have the same feeling. It's like it's just such a big picture that for the moment, it can take me back into my feelings
Right.
that everything's going to be okay. And I still live in the real world, or this planet Earth. I'm having this planet Earth practical experience, and I do need to deal with what comes up in my life and learn more about myself. But I feel the same way, that as I get older and more mature, particularly, it dawns on me, and as I see folks pass on, I ain't going to be here forever. One of my the ways I relate to it a lot are, that there were certain heroes I had in music, back when I was a teenager, and they were the people in their 20s and 30s who I looked up to, and they're passing on. And a lot of, celebrities, movie stars, and so on and so forth are checking out, and friends of ours, the people that we've worked with, colleagues. And so there is this point in life where one goes, whoa, that's really going to happen. I mean, I don't really relate to the idea of passing on. I think I'm going to live forever, which I will. I'll be conscious forever, I suppose. But it just brings it all back home, and how it is so much easier not to get caught up in the drama when I allow myself to take a few minutes a day to tune back into that big picture.
Yeah, I think for myself that big picture has been almost like a saving grace at times, because things are so chaotic in moments in life, and the things we go through, and the place and people that we're experiencing while we're here. So being able, for myself, I know when I was young, I've always loved looking up at the stars. And so that's something I think all of us can relate to, is the solar system, because every night, unless it's cloudy, we all have that ability to look up and go, wow, there's, the moon, or there's Venus, or there's, Jupiter out there. And so that ability to also connect all of us as a oneness is really profound for myself. And I recently also watched I was watching another podcast that was talking about how important it is for people to have that bigger picture.
Right.
Because like you're saying, Tiger, it's that feeling that, being able to have that feeling that, this is just all just minuscule stuff to a certain degree that we're all dealing with. The relationships and the this and that BS and whatever it is like, it's little stuff.
Yes.
Like you're saying, when Roosevelt looked up, or was it Roosevelt? Yeah. And he said, hey, now let's get back to like what this really is here, because it's little. But in this podcast, they also talked about, not only space and expanding that way, but also people that have had near-death experiences. Right. That's another area. And they even said too, that when you listen to it, I know sometimes Tom and I get on this kick where we'll go for a while and go one after another on YouTube, and there's something about it to hear the stories of another place, another time, another dimension that's, beyond us. It just really gives that bigger picture and that feeling of, everything's going to be okay, and I'm in the right place, and there is more than just what I'm experiencing right in front of me.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, there's, I know I'm caught up in my head and not, I'm in the micro picture and not the macro picture. When I can just, if I can't look up at the sky, particularly at night, and just see eternity there, like, cause that's what I'm staring at. I'm staring at eternity, and just to be there, and just to be comfortable, and just to be in the moment. The moment I can't do that, it's regrouping time. I'm caught up in some trip, that's some micro little detail that means nothing in the big picture. Like, what am I worried about? What is the big deal? And I think that's part of that point you're bringing up, Tom, is that part of maturing here spiritually. I mean, we associate it with growing old, but you can remove that part and just say, it's just part of me maturing spiritually, of becoming more one with all in everything I do. Otherwise, I'm just going to be like everybody else at the mercy of the strongest current around me. And
well said.
And as a soul that's evolving, that doesn't feel good. It just does not feel good to be at the mercy of everything around me. I want to chart my own course, right? I want to be the captain of my ship.
Yeah. I was reading something a little earlier today where about creating your world. And, it said just 15 minutes a day to tune back into the spiritual bigger picture. And it doesn't, something I have to do 24/7 or anything. It's just 15 minutes, take a moment. That's what I hear you saying, take a moment to look up into the sky or find something that inspires myself or yourself and then get back into that mode, because innately we all know when we share these things, we're just helping reawaken what we all know we all chose as a soul. The other thing that struck me was that Elon Musk is heading to Mars and NASA and so forth, and lately I've been tuning into even that's a small picture, one planet in our solar system, like it's just one solar system. That's even a small picture. And that's how I feel about it. And I was going, it's interesting and all that, but that's still not the big picture.
Yeah.
The big picture is huge,
The limitations of the intellect.
Yeah.
Well, I think sometimes too, the pictures of expansion, like we're talking about the macro, it freaks people out.
Yes, it does.
Because it's too big.
Yes.
Like, I think that's why we're in these physical bodies having these experiences. We have all this interactions with people and experiences because you just can't go every day and go, oh, like looking up and the expansion and it's all big and why am I doing all this crap?
Yep.
Well, and that's all for when we're
Gotta be
back
real.
on the other side. We can just go, oh, this is wonderful. And
I want to get back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's learn and grow. So, and I guess that's what they say. They say that we come down because now we're focused in these opportunities to learn more about ourselves and the genius that we have and what we can awaken within. But what struck me is that how true feelings, my feelings have to be my priority.
Yes.
And I can no longer accept that the intellectual or the outer is my priority. Now I have to work with my intellect. I have a good intellect. I can work with it. I can organize things. I have to work with the outer because I'm here in this vehicle of a physical body. But I've got to make my true feelings my priority, not my emotions. Get back to my true feelings, organize it, and act. We keep saying that, but one of the reasons I keep saying it is I keep reminding myself, and that if I start to have the mental gymnastics or I start to have these mental conversations that I'm, getting too intellectual about, so I just go, that's not me. What's this? Get back to my feelings. What's the solution?
Yeah.
What do I need to communicate? When do I need to communicate? Where and why? And just move forward on
Heaven
that.
on earth.
Yeah.
There you go. Whether you are a brand new or a returning fan of this podcast, we appreciate you. We appreciate you listening to the episodes that we create every single week. If you would love to support us by continually creating great content every week, please consider liking, subscribing, and supporting us monthly. You can find the buttons below to do all the above. Cheers to you and moving into our 6th year of sharing through podcasting. So, micro and macro.
Heaven on earth.
Heaven on earth. So if you are out there and you get stuck in the micro a lot, more than the macro, take some time. You can check out below. We'll have the link to the James Webb article that I just talked about and I started this conversation with. And I hope and we hope that maybe you can get some insights and get that clarity with there's more to it than just what meets the eye in this moment in time. See you soon. To keep the enthusiasm going, please like, subscribe, or comment below. We would love to hear from you.